Unlimited Ammo here with Free-to-Play Fun, a short series where I download a free-to-play game off of Steam. We take a look at it, see if it's worth your time. And today we're looking at World of Guns Gun Disassembly. Now I was looking around for a free-to-play game to do for the series. I saw World of Guns Gun Disassembly and I thought, what? This is going to be a silly game. It's going to be like Bus Simulator 2014. It's going to be just a goofy little niche game. And it's going to be just for one very specific type of person. Not going to be a lot of effort into it. It's not going to be a very impressive game. But I'm actually kind of enjoying it. So what it is, it's a game. It gives you a model, replica of a gun model. Also, it has hundreds of gun models. That's probably an exaggeration. I don't know how many there actually are. Dozens, at least. There's a catalog. You can go to the catalog down here. And they also have vehicles, but we'll get to that in a moment. Right now we're just looking at the guns, because that's what you start with, is guns. So we can organize by whatever. We can do alphabet. Look at all these models. And, okay, I guess you can't scroll without the wheel, but yeah, that is a lot of weaponry we have available in this game. Is that like a cannon? Is this three? Is that artillery piece? A howitzer? Wow, there's a lot in RPG. I've only scratched the surface of this game, apparently. What it is. So go back. So you're given gun models, you unlock them progressively as you gain experience. You get experience as you're playing the game, which seems really easy to gain experience. If I have any trouble yet, I've only unlocked a few models though. So you're given a gun, like MP5. First you start with the field strip. So whenever you click one of these, it loads the gun model. And it's a nice model. It's a nice real model. That's what the weapon is supposed to look like. It's not the most beautiful thing ever. They don't have AAA textures like you can see, but I mean, it's the nooks and crannies that are supposed to be there are there. The magazine latch, the fire selector, the stock, everything that's supposed to be there is there. As the field strip, so you just there's a walkthrough. Okay, first obviously take out your magazine. Then, oh come on, what is the next part of the field strip? For the MP5, I only did this weapon once, so forgive me. There is, of course, a very... Give me a hint. There we go. Obviously, you also turn on the part names. Bam. The locking pin. Of course, you need to take out locking pin before we can take out the back plate. And then, you see, even this is just the tutorial mode here. So if you don't know exactly what we're doing, you just gotta click around, explore. There's no pressure on what to do, how to do it, when to do it. Kind of just taking your time here, learning the weapon, exploring what makes the weapon tick on the inside, what the parts are called, how they fit together, how they operate. And if you ever, good way to describe it, be the feeling I get when I play these games. You ever watched, like binge watched How It's Made, or any show like that, where they just go through how things work they've never really worried too much about? Like, I've never thought, how does the MP5 work on the inside? Of course, that's a popular weapon in video games. See, I've seen it shot, like Counter-Strike. I've seen MP5 shot hundreds of times. Never thought, how does it work on the inside? I mean, I know how a gun works, but how does this particular gun, how is it put together on the inside? And this is what this shows you. And I'm really impressed by it. So field strip is just really basic things you can break down without tools. And it's the little tutorial mode for each weapon. Get it back in there. Oh, I have to put the recoil spring, of course. Pop it in there. Pop it in there. You click on a piece to activate it. Put the back plate back in. Like, I didn't know you took off the stock out in this part. Drops down, and you put the locking pick in. I didn't know that. Didn't know that's how it worked. That was the field strip. And then we have full disassembly and full assembly. So we get a little bit of experience. You get practically no experience for the field strip because it's the easiest, quickest thing. But that took a while. And let's go to something I know a little bit better, which is the beginning weapon, the AK-47. Let's just go. This disassembly, you take it down completely. Reassembly, you put it back together completely. Just similar to the field strip, but more involved. We'll go over that in the game, because the game is disassembly and assembly, but if it times you and gives you a score, and if you can hit the pieces without messing up. There's also one of my favorite parts, the operation mode. So operation mode loads the gun model. Any second now. Sometimes it takes a little bit. Sometimes servers are a little slow. Sometimes they're really slow. Oh no, there we go. So sometimes they crash and you have to reload. But operation mode, so you have your loads the gun model and you can shoot it. But you don't just, I mean, like, okay, that's alright, but you shot AK-47s in games hundreds of times. What we can do, you click on X-ray, click on some of the cutaway, not the cutaway, there we go, more of the X-ray. Now we can see inside the weapon, inside the firing mechanisms, we can slow it down times 50. Now we can zoom in, move the camera. When you hit the trigger, we can see how the trigger works. How let's go with the hammer. The hammer is the firing pin. How it shoots the bullet. How the bolt, how the recoil works. How a new bolt is loaded. And then the trigger will go back. Latch on the hammer. And that is how an AK-47 works. You can see the casing flying off. And that is super cool. What else is cool? We can turn on turn to automatic. So you see the selector plate on the other side. It's getting flipped up in times 50 slow motion because I left that on when we did this, but whatever. So now the selector is put on automatic. Now if we hold down our trigger, see the whole thing go. Now it works in automatic fire as opposed to semi-automatic fire. So that is my favorite part of this experience so far. Seeing how every part of the weapon works, you can put on, turn off the X-ray. You can also, if there's attachments or other functions to the weapon, you can play around with those. Like you see, you can adjust the rear sight. We don't need times 50 for that. You can adjust the rear sight with the AK. You can also throw on the bayonet, so you can see how AK-47 bayonet, how it works, how it attaches. Take it back off. There's really, you can see the latch. You can click the latch. Oh, it pops off the magazine. The magazine latch does. You can pop open the breech. All the bullets. It is really cool. I spent so much time playing around with each of the models and how they fire. I thought that was just not something I really ever thought about. AK-47 is a very historically important weapon. Been around for a long time. It's even on it's the only weapon, only firearm to be on a flag of a nation. Forgive me, I don't know which nation that is. I forget. It's an African nation. Can't think of it right now. My bad. I'm not really good at geography anyway. And we can also go back. So that is the fun part of the game, which is weird because that's not even like the game part of the game. If that makes any sense. Because that's just all tutorial mode. Now the quote-unquote game is the game, super game, hardcore game. You go in game, you assemble, disassemble, and reassemble the weapon as fast as you can without making any mistakes. So in game, load the model. Come on, I'm all day with this. Servers can be a little slow sometimes, but it's not. I mean, usually it's not unforgivably slow. Get a little impatient on trying to make a video on it, but so game. Click the parts, do a complete disassembly. There's this little green crosshairs in the corner. And also that's where the timer is. So you're trying to get a good time without clicking on the wrong part. If you click on the wrong part, that green crosshair will go away. And that means you have made a mistake. In regular game, you can keep going past that. In super game, if you make a mistake, you just fail and you have to restart. So those are the only differences between game and super game. In hardcore game, you can work multiple pieces at once. So there, I was unscrewing the barrel bushing, so that is the only part that could be active at that time. I had to wait till that was finished. But in hardcore game, you can super good. You can like click, just disassemble the weapon from 3 places at once if you're good enough. So let's see, I have a fair amount of practice getting this AK right. You see the MP5, had no idea what I was doing. The Colt, you also have a Colt 1911 unlocked, that's the second gun you unlocked. Not very familiar with that, but I spent enough time with this AK that I can put together, because I really like the feeling of, I had no idea how an AK worked. Very famous weapon, seen it hundreds of times throughout my life. Not in person, I mean like, you know, in TV video games. I've not seen hundreds in real life. I'm not from, oh, I clicked the wrong piece, missed the seer. But I never knew, like, if you gave me one, it's like, hey, how would you put this back together? I would have no idea. I now have an idea. I couldn't do it. I'm not going to pretend like, just because I played this game, I'm some sort of weaponsmith. But now I have an idea of what the pieces go where, what they're called, what they do. And I'm not, which is, whether you're a gun person or not, if you're a huge gun person, you already know that. But then playing around with it's pretty cool. If you're not a huge gun person, and you get to learn that, that's cool. It's fun to learn sometimes. Especially when it's so casual and laid back and simple. I'm really enjoying it. I didn't take apart the magazine. Up here in the top right is how many parts you have left to take apart, and I have missed things. What have I missed? Oh, I know what it is. Always miss this rear swivel. It always messes me up. That's a really bad time. There's an autofocus option that when you click on a point, it will flip around to that part. And I turn that off because I usually just got in my way. I have to put the weapon back together. Generally put it back together just opposite of what you're doing before. You don't have to, but that's what is recommended. And then it's the trigger, yeah. The hammer, then the seer. Like, this is just a fun little learning experience. Alright, let's hurry up and put this thing back together so I can show you the rest of the game. Because there's oh man. Hold on, I need to drink water here. Okay. Because there isn't a lot to say about the game. I mean, you're seeing what it is right here. There's not a lot to say about that other than it is, I did not put the extractor in, so I messed up our sniper achievement. You see now the crosshair is red because I made a mistake. But this is the main part of the game. It's just exploring how guns work, how they're put together, and then practicing putting them together and taking them apart. It's a really surprisingly fun idea. Like I said, when I first found this, I thought it was a ridiculous concept. But I'm finding myself really enjoying World of Guns, gun disassembly, which seems just ridiculous. It would be like some really gun, because there are people really into guns. They collect guns and collect gun attachments, which is cool. Whatever you think this would be the game, this would be a game just for them, right? But I'm not a gun collector, and I'm finding this really fascinating. Learning how these weapons work, like mechanically how they work. And I didn't put this out. You gotta get back in there. And then learning how it works, and it's satisfying to go into. You load up a weapon, you have no idea how it works, how it's put together. You practice with it, play around with it for a while, and then you can just take it apart and put it back together again without really thinking about it. It's a really nice, satisfying feeling. I mean, it's a very simple puzzle game. It's pretty much a puzzle game. Can you put it together? Can you take it back apart? There's only really a couple solutions. There's only a few parts you can do in different orders. So as a game, it's, in that sense, it's pretty weak. It's a pretty weak puzzle game, but it's just so fun to learn how these things are put together, how they work, how you can take them apart, what you can do with them. I just find that fascinating. There's a couple other things I want to touch on, because it's not a deep game. There's a shooting range for some of the weapons. They go to the shooting range. This part's kind of. It says I don't have any of these achievements. Had to have gotten one of these. But you can just drop in. Very simple shooting mechanism. Pew pew. This isn't exactly a Call of Duty. There's also see we're aiming a little bit. It's getting wobbly. You can hold your breath, and that snaps the aim back. But you can just keep pressing the button, and then your aim never wanders at all. So there's no ballistics. It's not a ballistic simulator. You're not seeing where the bullets are going. You're not seeing how they're getting there. You're not seeing what kind of damage they're doing. I don't really feel like I'm shooting an AK. I mean, I have the gun model here, but I mean, come on, that wasn't a very great shooter, now was it? And so you have that. You have those for a couple of weapons. It's pretty, I mean, it's a good little distraction, but you're not coming here to shoot the guns. That's the one thing. If they want to do that, they really need to make a ballistic simulator and let you play around with. Maybe you shoot a ballistics gel dummy and see what the bullets from each weapon can do. You know, that kind of idea. See what the power behind certain calibers of bullet, what the accuracy of these weapons are, that kind of thing. Because right now, as it is, you're just kind of point and clicking, and it's not very entertaining. But it gives you some more experience, because unlock the weapons cost experience. If I want to get a Tech 9, if I want to play around, see how a Tech 9 works, that's 4,000 experience. I have almost 3,000, and I haven't even finished the MP5 yet. So after I finish the MP5, I should have enough for the Beretta or the Tech 9. I haven't finished the Colt either. I haven't even finished the Colt, so I'm almost have enough for the next weapon. I haven't even finished the other two, so it seems pretty generous on experience. And now we go to bonus, because this is okay. So that's guns. That's World of Guns. Take guns apart, learn how they operate, learn how they shoot, like mechanically how they shoot. You learn some of the attachments, how can be done with them. If you go to the bonus, you realize they also have skeletons and automobiles. So they added a Humvee up here, they added a tank here, a BMP. This a armored personnel carrier, isn't it? It's a tank, can't remember. I think pretty sure it's the APC. There's skeletons, cars, motorcycles, but these all cost credits. You get the human for free. It's pretty elementary because you don't get all the bones, but you do get to learn all the names are all there, but you don't take them all apart. I don't even want to load it to show you because it's not very compelling. I think the animal skeletons might be a little more interesting. Maybe just a little bit. It's kind of elementary, as far as I can tell. The human skeleton is the skeleton parts are. But the cars, if the cars are even half as good as the guns, then I would be really excited about that. We can buy DeLorean for 50 credits, and you can take apart and reassemble the DeLorean, and you learn how the DeLorean works. How you can put it, field ship the DeLorean, disassemble a DeLorean, reassemble the DeLorean. What is this key? Explore all the actions so you can see what the DeLorean can do. Probably open the doors, play the hood, that kind of stuff. That seems really, really interesting to me. You learn how. I mean, the DeLorean's not really a common car. Is this Back to the Future in the back there? That would be really, really fun. Isn't that great? Also, Humvee, tanks, and they're adding new models all the time. So there's just a lot to explore here. There's also a quiz. So you load the quiz. This is for bonus experience. So if you're done playing with the guns, you still need more experience. It gives you a silhouette of a weapon, and you have to choose what it is. I actually don't know this one, which I shouldn't say that because it's a big surprise. But usually when I take this quiz, I get at least like 4 or 5 right before I mess up. So I don't know. It'll tell you. Yeah, Marlin. I just didn't know that. Honestly, I had no idea. And you can retake the quiz once every hour. And you also get bonus experiences for logging in every day. You can buy boosters. You get bonus experience for inviting your friends. The Special Operations tab. So they're really generous on the experience. And it's just a really, really fun, simple game. You unlock weapons, learn how the weapon works, learn how to take it apart, learn how to put it back together again, learn what kind of attachments you can do with it, shoot a couple of them. If you really like it, you can go buy the car versions, figure out how the cars work, if you're really into cars. I just think it's really, really interesting. And being free to play, I would highly recommend downloading this and playing around with some of the guns and just learning how they work. You also get a little click on the weapon, you get info, so you can get a little history lesson if you want. It'll give you stats on the weapon and the history. Of course, it has to download everything because the local files it puts on your computer are very small. Keeps everything on server, so whenever you click to access something, it has to download it. But yeah, you can download some stock photos. Oh, excuse me, stock photos. You get a little bit of history. You get stats on it. You get this for all the weapons. So if you're a history buff, they have that going for you too. You get a large selection of photos. I just think there's a lot of, it seems like a lot of passion in this game, a lot of quality. It's a very simple idea, but it's executed very, very well. So as a free-to-play title, I would really recommend jumping in here, playing around with some of the guns, seeing how they work. If you're a gun person, then you'll love it because you like guns already, so you can play around with disassembling them, reassembling them, especially certain models that you might not have access to in your collection, or your friends might not have. AK-47 is obviously very popular. Maybe you always wanted one, never be able to have one, you can jump in here and play around with one. If you're not a gun person, well, you can jump in here and figure out how guns work. You can figure out how guns operate, why they operate the way they do, how different guns operate, learn a little bit of history about it. So I think there's something here for everyone. It's a lot of fun, even though it's really simple. So I highly recommend downloading it. That's going to do it for this episode. Kind of a short episode because it's not a terribly deep game. It's very interesting, but not very deep. Thanks for joining me. Subscribe for more. I'll see you next time.